everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica with Memory Box Candle Co. and I make videos all about the journey of starting a candle business. And today's video is going to be behind the scenes, basically a before and after a vendor event. So a vendor event is also known as a pop-up event where you go and sell at a farmer's market, craft show, anything like that where you are taking your business and you are selling it at a location for a specific period of time. And what I wanted to just show you is how I package up my candles and wax melts to actually take it over to these events and the locations. I'm also going to show you a little bit into the POS system that I use. And then at the very end of the video, I am going to be updating you on what sold and how much I ended up making. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So this is what everything looks like when I am preparing to package everything up to take to local markets. I have tried a couple different ways of packaging things up. I have tried putting wax melts in its own little area, like its own little tote basket, but then they just kind of fall all over each other and I hate it. And then I had tried putting just the scents together and I didn't put them in these little fabric bags at first, but they were still just kind of falling all over each other. And I decided for the 10 candles as well to not wrap them up simply because I found it kind of just a waste of packing paper. And but then I found that if I kept them loose inside of these bins, so when I say totes and bins, this is what I'm talking about. So I know these kind of have like whatever inside them. It just kind of looks weird, but it's just some kind of cushion at the bottom. I'll probably redo it. This is just from the last event. But they would be scattered around in these bins and it just they would get dirty and sometimes the labels would kind of get scuffed up or the ink would start to be, falling off just from it rummaging around too much. And I just want it to be as neat and nice and easy to travel. And let me tell you, these little fabric bags right here, I have them back there. I actually use those for my candle making kits. So I decided to make use of this and I just reuse them every time now. And oh my gosh, if you can keep everything together nice and neat, it just makes the packing so much better. I highly recommend it. It just makes the process so much easier. And for these, I decided not to use my typical honeycomb packing paper that I typically use for when I am packaging up orders. And I don't know why I decided to just get this packing paper. I don't know if it was to save that other paper. It might have been. Maybe this paper is cheaper. But I guess I was just thinking that this would protect the candles more in those bins. I don't know, because for the longest time I was kind of in between if I should put them into the white boxes. And white boxes, I mean these boxes. So I didn't know if I should put them up package them up in those white boxes and then take them to the events, or if I should just give them to customers like this. And this seems to be fine. I haven't had any issues with it at all. But the paper is, as you can see, it is a little bit harder to work with because it's more stiff. So I don't know. It's all still a learning process for me. I kind of change things up every single market, just, kind of make little changes here and there. But the last time we went, I packaged everything up in these little fabric holders and it just makes it so much easier. And I am planning on doing a new updated studio, quote unquote studio tour for this year, like I do every year, because I have made some changes. As you can see, I have this new wax melt rack that I got. So I really do want to do an updated tour, of course, once I clean everything up, and just so I can, actually walk around and show you. But anytime I am preparing for a market, it's bound to be messy. Everywhere, everything's out. So I'm going to go through and show you how I organize everything. I'm going to show you a little bit more into like my price list, and then also my POS system. So I'm going to take you over to this table over here. So what I did was, as you could see, everything on the other table was all laid out. This is so much easier for me because I have a tendency to forget things and not really organize it the best. And it's a really good idea to make sure that you're keeping track of your inventory prior to actually going to the event, because as I will show you in a minute, the way that I take payment through card, I actually don't, I'm not able to keep track of the actual individual scents and sizes that are being sold. So after we're done with everything, I take inventory and then I can see which scents sold the best. So on here, as you can see, these are all that I'm bringing. The event that we're doing tonight, it's from 5 to 9 p.m. It's only a 4-hour event. Chris and I have only ever done 4 or 5-hour events before, and we've never sold out. We've never even come close to it. So I've kind of learned that 5 or 6 candles is fine. So right over here, SMC is Saturday Morning Cartoons, and that I'm bringing 6 large because I know that, you know, that is a little bit more of a popular scent. However, there was one time that somebody purchased 4 large Golden State candles. So you never know what's going to happen. I'm also bringing a couple of ice cream cake. So I have ice cream cake right there. It wasn't on the table back there, but there was somebody last time that asked for vanilla, and I actually did have ice cream cake available, and they purchased 2 and then also contacted me later on and purchased 5 more. Like outside of the event, I dropped it off at his house. So that was really, really cool. So I just want to make sure that I have, you know, something like that for anybody that wants vanilla. But when I was making candles for this event, I told myself to make the ice cream cake and I did not. So these were the ones that I had on the shelves. I'm also taking 2 small ones as well, just in case, of course, that somebody wants ice cream cake. I try my best to have a good variety of different scents that I am taking with me. If it was up to me, I would actually only take 2 beachy masculine scents, but I gotta tell you, I have taken Golden State, Trips to Nowhere, and Pacific Coast Highway to my events, and people love all of them. So there's no way that I am going to only pick 1 or 2 of them, because I made the mistake the last market of not taking Trips to Nowhere, and there was somebody who was a little disappointed because I didn't have it, and that's what they really wanted. So that was my bad, but again, learning, and I can't take every single scent. So today I'm only really taking 8 scents, 9 if you count the ice cream cake candle, but really the main 8, and that's all that we are taking. And it's the first time bringing Mystic Vision, so I'm very curious to see how it does, because it's definitely a very acquired kind of scent, and you know, really only particular people are gonna like it. However, we have had people in the past ask for a patchouli scent. So bringing this, we're hoping that this will, you know, satisfy the need of people who are kind of have a little bit different scent preferences when it comes to candles that are not just fruity, beachy, or floral. So I am going to, you know, just take these 8 scents. I'm not taking anything from the Sunshine collection. So first time that we are not taking anything from any seasonal collection. I really just want to focus on these main 8 scents that are not seasonal, and also really focus on upselling bundle deals. So the last 2 times that we were at markets, we were focused on Mother's Day gift box sets. So that was an upsell, and that was very fun and very kind of cool to talk about and try to upsell to people. So let me show you my price list right here. So these little stands are what we use to actually hold the price list, as well as like the Venmo and everything. However, I actually don't like the way that the Venmo holder looks. That was like the first design I did. That was, I think, from our first event that we did, or the second event. So I'm going to redo that, but I do like the way that the price list looks, and the way that I do it is I print out 2 sheets of paper and I put it on either side, so we are able to see it behind us, and just in case anybody picks it up, you know, they can read it from both sides. But what I am going to do is actually change it out to this. So it's essentially the same thing, except for I am not including the gift box set because we don't have that anymore. And then what I decided to do was make a separate little bundle deals sheet, and then also do the little Venmo QR code. So I highly, highly recommend to get a Venmo QR code. I have the business one. I know a lot of people try to just do the personal one and tell people to say that it's for like a gift or whatever. I have no problem paying the fee for Venmo. You have to pay a fee for everything else that you use, PayPal, Shopify payments. So I have no problems, and I'm not trying to get out of that. So I highly recommend you just do it the right way, get a business Venmo, get the QR code, and do it the right way with getting the fees taken out. And so I have that there. So I'm going to put this one there, and then I'm going to change out the price sheet and put that one there. So now that is all good to go. I have that all set up, and I can put it away in the little tote that I have for the items that we put onto the actual tables for the displays. I am not going to show that in this video. I may do an updated video on the supplies that I use for my actual table display, but today's video was mainly just kind of showing you the back end of prepping all the candles, wax melts, how I do it, and how I actually bring the supplies to the event in these totes. And these totes, by the way, right over here, these are from Lowe's. We got them a little while ago. They actually fit perfectly onto these racks, so they fit 3 on the racks. So if you ever get racks like this, we got these from Lowe's too. So if you ever get racks like that, then you're able to actually, you know, fit 3 on a shelf. But I forgot to mention I am bringing some room sprays this time. I'm only bringing 5 of the scents in room sprays. Anything that's like a sweet scent, like ice cream cake, Malibu coffee shop, those scents I don't think can be made into room sprays. When I first got started making room sprays, I had heard or read somewhere that the formulation, I don't know if it's the amount of vanillin in it, there's something about it that the formulation with room sprays, it doesn't really work out. Now, I've never tried that myself though, so that's probably my bad. You can let me know in the comment section down below if you've had experience with that or you've also heard about that. But I'm making sure that I am bringing some room sprays because, again, there's been some people actually more recently buying room sprays. They're definitely not big sellers. I'm only bringing 3 of each, but there have definitely been people in the last couple events that have been interested in room sprays. And then the last part of this video is I just wanted to show you the POS system that I use. So I actually bring 2 POS systems with me to every event, and that's because you never know if one of the systems are going to be down. And if you don't have a way to take card payments, that is seriously going to cut into the amount of sales that you can get. So I also bring my little PayPal here. I don't know if this is still available. I got this back in like early 2020 or late 2019, something like that. But I have this available just in case this one goes down, which it did on our last event. So I recently contacted Shopify last week and told them the issue that I was having with my Shopify POS system. Keep in mind, I actually purchased this quite a while ago. I want to say maybe 4 months ago. Something like that, 4 or 5 months ago. And they were still so accommodating and very, very kind and so helpful with the problem at hand. I told them exactly what was happening. And essentially the device, the old device that I had, which was the same one as this, it looked the same, but it would not stay on unless it was charging. And then when I tried to do a test transaction, it would just beep uncontrollably and tell me to only tap 1 card at a time, and there was no cards even near it. So it was obviously just having an issue. And so I told them about it, and they shipped me out a new one, no problem, no cost to me at all. It was amazing. And so far, this seems to be working just fine. But the pairing is very, very easy. You just download the Shopify POS system, and this hooks up directly to your Shopify store. So obviously you do have to have a Shopify store in order to use this. So this is what the Shopify POS system looks like. It's just a little blue Shopify symbol. And this will take you to the back end. So what I actually had to do with my POS system and why it took me so long to actually use it was because I could not figure out a way to make my prices different on the POS system than it was on my actual website. So what I had to do was essentially just make a listing, a general listing for my 6-ounce candles, 10-ounce candles, wick trimmers, room sprays, wax melts. and make it only available on my POS system. So if I go over to my products over here, you can see that it's just a very general 6-ounce candle, 10-ounce candle, wax melt. And this is just the only way that I was able to figure it out. But like I was saying earlier, I'm not able to keep track of the scents that are being sold in that moment. I then have to just go through and do the inventory at the end, which is fine and something that I'd have to do either way. And then I can figure out which scent and which sizes were being sold. But what's really nice about this with the POS system, so let me just turn on the reader real fast. It's literally just, once it's paired, you just click the button, turns blue, then yellow, then red, and then blue, it'll connect to the system. So if I was going to do a test transaction, let me just add on a room spray. Then you go back home, you click on this, and then check out. And then now it just says tap, insert, or swipe card. And all you have to do is do one of those on here. It connects through. It gives the customer an option of getting I believe, an email receipt or a text receipt. So it's really cool. But what I really love about this is it just goes immediately. I haven't had any connection issues except for, of course, the other reader that was having issues. So we will see how this one works. I'm really hoping that it works tonight. If not, I do have this one as a backup. The reason why I don't like using this one is because the Bluetooth is very, very finicky with it. And if I don't have my phone open on the PayPal Here app at all times, then it will just disconnect, and it's such a pain in the butt to get it connect again. So essentially, I don't have a phone. I can't do anything else. But I highly recommend that you have something else, or even a PayPal device like a PayPal Here or whatever is the new one that they have available. Highly recommend you have 2 different ways of taking credit card payments. All right, so I went ahead and packaged up all of the candles and wax melts inside of their totes. I like to do 2 cents per tote. The only exception would be I threw in the ice cream cake into this tote over here. So that is really the only tote that doesn't have just 2 cents in it. But I like to make it to where when you're going to grab a scent, you know exactly what it is when you're looking in the tote. And then also the wax melts are not going to be in there because I have my little wax melt holder that I use at the events. And as soon as we're there, I get everything set up and I put it on the wax melt holder. And then when we are done with the event, I just package it up again inside of the little cotton bags and put it right back in the bin just like this. So I just kind of wanted to show you what it looked like, how I actually transfer products over to the event. And luckily, this event that we are going to tonight, we are able to pull our truck right up to our booth area. All right, I apologize for the very harsh transition right there. Yesterday's video, I actually wasn't preparing on doing an update the next day after the event, but I figured I was sitting here doing inventory and I thought it would be helpful to let you all know how we did and how I go through to check the inventory. So what I do is I actually just take the same list on what we had yesterday. I take another color and I just write down the inventory after the event. So on here, this is basically what we had left over. So we sold 2 of those, didn't sell any small, sold 4 of the wax melts. So you can kind of do the math difference right there. And that's pretty much the easiest way that I know how to do it when I'm bringing all this back. And so just to show you on here, I wrote down we sold 10 large candles, 6 small candles, 22 wax melts, and 3 room sprays. So as you can see, really wasn't that busy of a night. It was pretty much on the slower side. It was a 4-hour night event. It was pretty chilly outside. It was windier during the day. And we're thinking that that's probably why most people just wanted to stay home because it was a rather cold spring day. Whereas one of our last events that we did, I think it was high 80s that day, and it was kind of like a warmer night, and a lot of people were out and just hanging out. So that definitely makes a difference. But in total, we grossed $409. That was through cash, Venmo, and through the card POS system. And I'm very happy to say that the Shopify app performed fantastic. The only issue that I had was a little bit of Wi-Fi connection issues, but that's not the fault of the app. So very happy about that. I really hope that it's still working the next few events. And that'll just be how I'll really test that POS system, because the second event that I did with my last one, that's when it started acting up. So I thought it would be interesting, you know, just to go through on here and show you what was sold, how much of each was sold. And I was very happy with how Mystic Visions did. I wasn't expecting people to like it as much as they did. A lot of people really liked it. And as you can see, there's no 1 cent that really dominates any of it. People kind of have, you know, such a wide variety of different, you know, preferences when it comes to cents. And just kind of looking over at, so SMC is Saturday Morning Cartoons. That one's always, you know, really does really well. However, this time it was really just the large candles that people were wanting. So we sold 4 out of the 6 large candles that we brought. And we did have Saturday Morning Cartoons on the wax melter. So that was trying to get people to come to our booth. People would walk by and be like, oh my gosh, that smells so familiar. And that kind of was a good segue into which candle was on the wax warmer. So that's kind of our little, I don't want to say it's a trick, but that's kind of our little like extra advertising for whatever scent we really want to sell that evening. So yeah, we tried Saturday Morning Cartoons last night, and seems like a lot of people loved it. A lot of people love to smell that candle. But yeah, I think that is all that I wanted to talk about in today's video. As you can see, everything is pretty much still well organized in here. And to be completely honest with you, I will most likely keep everything in here. Typically, I do like to take it out and put it on the shelves, but I'm probably going to keep it in here because we have a market next Friday. So we have a market 6 days from now. So I really don't want to take it out and then have to put it back in. So that is kind of what I'm going to be doing. But typically I do like to just take it out, put it on the shelves, and put it on, you know, the wax melt holder and all that. But with that, I think I'm going to end today's video right here. Really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know by leaving this video a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram at Erica Marie Morris, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.